Arjuna stood on that battlefield with Krishna, and Krishna told him what his dharma was, what he was supposed to be doing, because the moment presented itself to him, he was prepared and trained for it. Therefore, he should let go of himself and serve the moment that is presented to him.
Now, I know in all the comments, or in a lot of the comments, you guys are telling me that I need to read the Bhagavad Gita. I have heard of it before. My dad has been talking about it, in fact, for many years, as, you know, one of the great books. I'm going to read it, and I think it's going to come to me at the right time, at the right level of my understanding to take it on. So thank you for all the suggestions for that. It will happen. I feel it will happen. In the meantime, if you watched my Who Am I videos, you will know that I was reading Living Untethered by Michael Singer, sequel to The Untethered Soul, his most famous book. And I noticed a lot of similarities between these books and what I was listening to in the Who Am I lectures. So I really wanted to explore where he came to a lot of these teachings, and I think he has quite a deep understanding of yogic traditions. So I looked for a video where he is talking around the subject. Yeah, I thought we could watch it together and see how much correlates with what we know from some of the Hindu teachings we've been listening to so far. So let's get into it. So here he's talking about karma yoga, which I've actually not heard of before. I've heard of Kriya yoga, obviously, thanks to Sri M.
You will see I'm surrounded by the pictures of some great yoga masters, including my preceptor, Paramahansa Yogananda. When I was in my early 20s, I was fortunate enough to be given the book Autobiography of a Yogi, and it completely changed my life.
Who's read that one? This is really good, actually, to hear about how he came to the understandings that he had.
I decided to devote my life completely to yoga, and I am now humbled and honored to be sitting here and have been asked to talk about karma yoga on this auspicious occasion. Karma yoga is one of the most misunderstood aspects of yoga. People use terms such as the yoga of work, the yoga of action, but it is much, much deeper than that. In order to understand karma yoga, you first have to understand the other branches of yoga. For example, hatha yoga is about your relationship with your body. If your body's not healthy, if it's not feeling well, you have to devote your life to dealing with those aspects of imbalances within your body and your prana flow. Likewise, bhakti yoga is about your relationship with your heart. If your heart is exuding uncomfortable emotions, if it's in a state of disturbance, you have to devote your life to trying to get a world around you that satisfies this. If, on the other hand, your heart is in balance and it's feeling love and devotion, you can move on to the higher aspects of your being. Jnana yoga is considered the yoga of wisdom, but that's only once you get your mind together. If your mind is exuding thoughts that are disturbing and uncomfortable, then again, you need to devote your life to creating situations that will make it more tolerable inside yourself.
This is making me realise I really don't know anything about yoga other than like the westernized version, which is basically like an exercise thing. And so this is like, I'm enjoying this sort of overview, and I'm sure you guys all know all of this already, so like skip on a bit in the video if this isn't relevant to you, I guess.
If you learn to contemplate things that are beyond yourself, God, the infinite, the nature of things, the universality of the life around you, it's much more comfortable to live inside yourself. Mm-hmm. And then beyond that, you go to Raja Yoga, which is about your relationship with your higher bodies, with your body of bliss, and with your relationship with yourself, self-realization. Karma Yoga, what's left? Karma Yoga is about everything else. That's why Karma Yoga is the deepest yoga.
Okay, so he didn't actually mention Kriya Yoga, which was the one that I've heard of before. So can someone explain in the comments, like, is that another word for one he already mentioned, or is that he's just admitted that, or like what is Kriya Yoga and why has he not mentioned it here? Maybe if you guys know, I'm sure you will.
It's not about your relationship with your body, with your heart, with your mind, or even with your higher bodies. It's about your relationship with the rest of the world, with the rest of what's unfolding in front of you. How do I interact with the reality of life that keeps manifesting before me? That is the topic of karma yoga, and is often considered the deepest yoga because it is so expansive in one's life. In fact, one of the deepest spiritual scriptures in yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, is considered a treatise on karma yoga. So, what is karma yoga? What is our relationship with the world around us? In order to understand that, to begin to truly understand that, you have to understand two things. One, who are you? Who's in there looking out? What is the nature of your being that has a relationship with the world around you?
And we've just deeply explored that with our Who Am I lecture series, so this is very timely.
And the second is, what is the nature of the world outside of you? The first is actually quite simple. You are the one who's in there looking out. This is what the essence of witness consciousness, and Krishnamurti used to talk about objective observation.
Krishnamurti, my favourite.
You are the indwelling being who looks out through your eyes, hears through your ears. You are the one who knows you have a body. You were the one that was in there when you were 6 years old, and when you looked in the mirror, you saw a 6-year-old's body. Now you see whatever age you are, and it will continue on. You are the consciousness, the awareness of being. You see the emotions that are coming from your heart. You see the thoughts that are created in your mind. And ultimately you experience great love, and sometimes bliss, as you get deeper within yourself. It's all the same you. There's just one of you there. That's you.
And in the last videos we were watching, he would have described this as Turiya, right? And that's what I'm trying to make the relation between. Is what Michael A. Singer's saying here, what we were learning about Turiya in the last videos, that illuminates everything. It's the consciousness that illuminates all our states.
What is the nature or the reality of the world outside of you? That is one of the most fascinating and beautiful topics. If you turn to science, they will tell you that 13.8 billion years ago, there was this Big Bang. And subsequent to that, there were these thick gases of hydrogen and helium that fused together based on gravity and built the universe as you know it. A wise person realizes that every single moment of their life, what is unfolding in front of them is the result of 13.8 billion years of the universe unfolding and evolving until it finally landed at their doorstep and presented the moment that's in front of them to them.
That's quite mind-blowing to get your head around, really, isn't it? What went into this very moment that we're all experiencing right now. Everything that had to happen for this exact moment to happen is well, for me at least, kind of beyond comprehension.
So the world outside of you is not of your own making. The world outside of you belongs to science, belongs to God. It belongs to evolution. It belongs to cause and effect. It is indeed the moment in front of you. Took 13.8 billion years to get there.
I like that he didn't try and separate science and God there, or whatever you like to use as the word for God, because that's what the majority of, a lot of scientists and, can we say, religious people try and separate the two. And I like that he put them all in one all-encompassing thing. Do you get what I'm saying?
You can't call it your own. You didn't make it. You weren't even here. The other way to know that the world outside of you has absolutely nothing to do with you, it belongs to itself, is to realize that the moment in front of you is no different than the moment to your left, or the moment to your right, or the moment behind you, or the moment anywhere else in the universe. The universe is expressing itself everywhere. You're just seeing one particular moment, one particular point. You can't say that because it's the part that you see there's something special about it. It's just the part that you see. So a wise person comes to the point of realizing that they are inside looking out. What is outside is the result of creation. It is not theirs. It doesn't belong to them. It is just passing by, and they just happen to be seeing that moment. So karma yoga raises the deep question. What then is my relationship to the world that's unfolding in front of me? If it doesn't belong to me, and it doesn't, again, let's spend one more moment with that. If I picked you up out of the moment you're in and dropped you onto a street in Paris, then that would be the moment you see. Obviously, that moment was there before you got there, and if I take you away, the moment will be there after you leave. It has absolutely nothing to do with you. Eventually, a wise person realizes that it's true of every moment. If I walk in a restaurant, that restaurant existed before I got there. It was going on. The people were there. Conversations were going on. Music was going on. Whatever food was going on. I then step in. I'm just seeing a moment that already exists. When I step out, the moment will keep going on. It doesn't belong to me.
We all got that? Good.
It belongs to itself. It belongs to science. It belongs to God. It's such a beautiful thing to see that the world outside of you exists independent of you, but you are experiencing one particular moment of it. So what is the highest relationship with that? What is karma yoga? Sometimes the easiest way to see something that's very deep is to talk about what it's not. So let's do that for a moment. What is not karma yoga? What is not the right relationship with the world between you and the world outside of you?
And it's funny he says that, because that's what we did with Turiya in the last videos, wasn't it? He looked at all the things that it wasn't, that from the Upanishads, it listed all of the things that Turiya isn't before going into what it actually was. So it's funny that he's taking that same method. He probably learned it from that.
It's the one that almost all of us have. If we have not worked with our other yogas, for example, our body, if the body is not healthy, if the body doesn't feel balanced, then when I walk into the moment that's in front of me, I'm trying to use it to make my body balanced. I'm trying to get the food that I want, trying to get the sweets that I want, trying to get the cigarettes that I want, trying to get whatever it is that I think will help my body get over this disturbance and issues that it's having. Likewise with my heart, and especially with my heart. If my heart is not comfortable, if I'm feeling lonely, feeling insecure, feeling jealous, feeling self-conscious, then when I step into the moment, I need something from that moment. I need that moment to help me feel better. And so my relationship with the moment in front of me becomes one of taking. I want to take from this moment as it passes by whatever I can to make me feel better, because I have disharmony within my heart. I don't even need to talk about the mind. I think we all understand that. If the mind is exuding thoughts that you feel uncomfortable, that are telling you need things, and that people mistreated you and you have issues, not to mention issues of your past, you have all sorts of impressions left in your mind that are uncomfortable, and so now you step into the current moment and you try to take from that moment, from people, places, and things, to create situations that your mind says will make you feel better. So all of this is how we normally interact with the moment in front of us. That's not karma yoga.
Okay, so body, heart, and mind, and everything that we try and take from the current moment to make sure that they are all appeased and balanced. I think that is what he's saying.
Karma yoga is much, much deeper than that. Karma yoga says the following: this is the moment unfolding in front of me. I have done the work that I need to do on myself to where my body is in balance, it feels harmony, it feels good to be in here. My heart is in balance. I feel love. I feel openness. I feel purity within my heart. I feel devotion. I feel that I can devote myself to something beyond myself. And my mind is still. My mind is quiet. My mind is in awe that the moment that's unfolding in front of me, that it's even there. It took 13.8 billion years for this moment to get here. No matter what the moment is. I'm not judging it. I'm in awe that it exists. It came from the stars. That's where it came from. It comes from the quantum fields. Just they're exuding these subatomic particles which get pulled together by fundamental forces which end up manifesting as the moment in front of me. It's like,
now I know some of you know about all this quantum fields malarkeys because you've mentioned it in the comments before, but that's slightly beyond me.
magic. So the one who's clear with mind is not having a problem with reality. They are in awe of reality. And so that's the starting position for a healthy mind. So all of a sudden I've stepped into the moment. I don't need anything from that moment. I'm not trying to take from it. I'm not trying to use it to solve the problems that I have inside of me. I am in awe and honored to be existing inside of the moment that God, the universe, has placed in front of me. It took it 13.8 billion years to get here, and it took me 13.8 billion years to get here. So the two are meant for each other. They match perfectly. There's a perfection there that eventually you'll realize is absolutely unbelievable. So when you step into the moment as a karma yogi, there's not a sense of needing anything from that moment. There's a sense of, can I serve? I'm honored that this moment is in front of me. What can I do to raise it so that as it passes in front of me, it's better off because it did? That is karma yoga.
Wow, that's really powerful, and I know I'm a long way from that. A lot of work for myself to do before I could do karma yoga, I guess. But it gives me tingles actually a bit, hearing him talk about it in that way, for sure. Oh, actually getting goosebumps. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera. It actually gave me goosebumps. Wow.
That state of being where you're not asking something from the moment, but you are just here present, seeing if you can serve the moment. That's called your dharma. That's the ultimate dharma. When Arjuna stood on that battlefield with Krishna, and Krishna told him what his dharma was, what he was supposed to be doing, because the moment presented itself to him, he was prepared and trained for it, therefore he should let go of himself and serve the moment that is presented to him. We're all on that battlefield. It's all that way. For one who has clarity, who has worked with the other aspects of yoga, so that they feel comfortable within themselves, they come into every moment of life with a sense of service, with a sense of ultimately, I want to make it so that every moment that passes in front of me is better off because it did. There's no absolute answer of what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing. What exactly does that mean? It means that you are not trying to take from the moment to solve the problems that you did not yet solve within yourself. You do your work on yourself. That's yoga. That's all the different branches of yoga are about perfecting yourself so that you can stand in the presence of the world and serve it and be one with it. And ultimately, when your way becomes the way of the world, when you honor it so deeply, there's this merger, this oneness. They don't have to be separate. And that is the epitome and the ultimate of yoga. The question people ask, which is why they won't do this, is if I don't take from the moment that's passing by me, how will I end up with anything? How will I get anything? What will happen to me? If I actually honor the moment and its right to exist, and then try to see what is my part that I'm supposed to be doing with this, not to get something, but to serve. What will happen in my life? Will I get married? Will I have finances? Will I just be off living in a cave somewhere? So I devoted my life to that exact question. And the latest book I wrote is called The Surrender Experiment, My Journey into Life's Perfection, which takes on the question, if you were to let go every moment and willingly, open-heartedly serve what the universe unfolds in front of you, what would happen to you? Where would you end up? Life is a fascinating journey, and karma yoga is the essence of all of it. Thank you. It's nice sharing with you today.
There we go. Is that like similar to your guys' understanding of yoga or karma yoga? And does that relate to some of the texts that you've read? Can you see where he's got that from? It was interesting to hear a bit about how he came to his certain understandings and how he approaches life. And I feel like I'm at the point where I intellectually get what he's saying, but obviously I feel like I'm far from knowing it, if we can put it that way. But yeah, I enjoyed that one, little short one there, and definitely some relationship to what we were learning about in the last lecture series, so that was cool to keep that theme going. Hope you guys are all well. Let's chat on this one in the comments, and as always, any suggestions more than welcome, and I will see you on the next video.